Hello, how are you doing today? Thank you so much for joining me on this channel. My name is Njoki Muhungi. Today, I would like to share with you a story that is very close to my heart. But before I share that story, if you have been here long enough, you might have come across a number of videos where I documented my pregnancy journey. Right now, I'm a mother of one, and my son, what many of you don't know is that he is a rainbow baby. A rainbow baby is a baby born after a loss, maybe through miscarriage or a stillbirth or the death of an infant. So get comfortable, I'll be back in a jiffy.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day.
So this is how it all happened. One morning in the month of October 2021, I was in the house studying. I was doing a school project. At that point, I was a student at Southern New Hampshire University. And so I was working on a school project very early in the morning around 5 a.m. So as I was typing on my laptop, I started feeling sick. I started feeling nauseous. I felt tired more than usual. And I thought maybe it was malaria creeping in, or maybe I didn't sleep enough. I wasn't sure exactly what was going on. So I decided to go back to bed and get maybe 1 hour or 2 hours of sleep and see whether I would wake up feeling better. So I went to sleep. And then when I woke up, I was even feeling worse because this time I was feeling really nauseous and I was very hungry and I was feeling like I wanted to vomit. So I got really alarmed and I started contemplating going to hospital. So before I decided that I should go to hospital, I remembered that my periods were 2 weeks late. Now, this was very unusual because sometimes my periods do get late, but it's only by like a day or two and never really more than 5 days. So I thought I might be with child. I dressed up, I grabbed some money and went to the chemist. I bought 2 pregnancy test kits and came back to the house. I went to the bathroom and tested, and voila, I was pregnant. Excitement galore. I was so excited. I couldn't believe it. But okay, yeah, I really wanted to be pregnant. I wanted to get pregnant, but I didn't expect it would happen at that point. And the fact that it was not really expected was what made the whole difference. I was really excited. So at this time, it's around 10 a.m., 10 a.m. in the morning. I have stopped studying. Now I'm even totally distracted. I'm too excited to do anything serious. So I was seated there and wondering, should I call my husband and give him the news? Or should I wait and maybe do it in style? Although I'm not very good in surprises and all that, I decided that I should not tell him immediately. So I had a whole day of celebration. It was dance after dance after dance. I was just dancing around the house. I was really, really excited and I didn't want to tell anyone else before my husband. So I waited and around midday I was like, so am I going to just give my husband the news verbally and tell him, I'm pregnant? I decided no, I need to give him something tangible and not the pregnancy test kit. So across the road from where we lived back then, there's a clinic. So I decided, let me go to the clinic just to get tested one more time for confirmation. So I grabbed some more money and walked across the road to the clinic. I found the doctor. I told him I'm feeling like this and like that. You know, I gave him the symptoms. And I told him, I am suspecting that maybe I'm pregnant. Would you please do a test on that? He said, okay. So I wanted him to do a blood test. But he told me, let's start with a urine test. I obliged. So he gave me that container they normally give you to go bring samples. So I went and brought some urine, and he used the same pregnancy strip to test. And once again, it showed 2 lines. I had confirmed at that time that I was indeed pregnant. So he told me, yeah, okay, madam, yeah, you're pregnant. So I'm there wondering, is that how you're delivering the news? You're a doctor. Please. So I told him, please, write down somewhere. Write. I need something. Okay, I didn't tell him I needed something to present to my husband, but I needed something that I would give my husband. All right. So he wrote down and put the whole, what's that paper called? That thing where doctors write your medical stuff when you go to the hospital. So I carried it and went back to the house and waited for my husband. So around 7 p.m. my husband comes home, and on this day I decide, this is good news. This one, we have to eat some good food as we share this news. So I made some jollof rice and some chicken. I went to YouTube, got the best jollof rice recipe, and went ahead to prepare that. And then I also made some chicken stew. So my husband comes home. He finds me in a very upbeat mood. He does not question, because it's not the first time he has seen me happy. Sometimes I'm just happy because I'm happy. So we eat, and after we have eaten, after he has taken his shower, I tell him, I have something for you. So I went and brought the envelope and told him, I have a small letter for you. He told me, a letter? From where? I told him, I don't know. You check and you tell me where it has come from. So he opened the envelope and brought out that hospital paper. On top there, he sees the logo of the hospital. He's like, you're sick. Who is sick? He went to hospital. And then he proceeds to read. He reads the symptoms. He reads everything and the test, and he sees down there that it was written, pregnancy positive. I have never seen my husband that happy. The guy was there, a little happy dance. He was like, you mean I'm going to be someone's dad? I told him, yes. So there you are, hugging and dancing there. Congratulations. We were really excited about the news. So the night ended, and the following day came. The following day, I received a call from my baby sister, and she told me that she was moving to Nairobi and she needed me to accompany her and help her to move. And I thought this would be a good opportunity to share the news with my mother in Nakuru and of course her. I told her it's okay. So the day now after that day, the day after this call, yeah, I packed one set of clothes, one change of clothes. I packed one set of clothes because I knew I wasn't going to stay in Nakuru. I was just going, and then we would come back the day that followed. So I went home in Nakuru, really excited about the news. I was so excited that I shared it with my mother and my sister, and we were there just happy about the whole news. All right. So the following day now, after I've shared the news with my mother and my sister, we came together. She had a bit of luggage. That is what she wanted me to help her with. So we traveled all the way to Nairobi, and I took her all the way to Kitengela, where she lives. I settled her, and then I came back home. I was really tired. I was still feeling sick-ish. So I slept a lot. Now the day after we have come from Nakuru, again, I woke up very early to study. I love studying early in the morning, and I was still feeling sick. But this time, I had cramps. And it got me really worried because I didn't expect any cramps at that point. I was pregnant, so cramps come with periods. So where are cramps coming from at this point? I got really worried. So I decided to call one of my friends, who is a mother of 2, and ask her if when she was pregnant, she had cramps at any point in the first trimester. She told me no. Why would you have cramps? You don't have periods. Why would you have cramps? I decided, okay, let me Google this. So I went on Google and checked what could be causing cramps in the first trimester of my pregnancy. And what I saw on Google got me even more worried because it indicated that I could be having an imminent miscarriage. Or maybe it was just implantation. So you see, there were 2 possibilities. But I was not satisfied with Google's response, and I was not satisfied still with Lizzie's response. Picked the phone again and called my sister-in-law, Heidi. I asked her, she's also a mother of 2. I asked her, when you were pregnant, did you have cramps at any point in the first trimester? She told me, no, you're not supposed to be having any cramps. How far are you? I told her it's just the 2nd month. And she told me if it's implantation, by now implantation must have taken place. And so whatever is causing the cramps, I wouldn't know. But as for me, I did not have any. I was like, this is serious then. So I decided to just let the matter go for some hours, and I waited for my husband to come home. So in the evening, he came, and I told him I am having cramps. So at this point, as my husband and I are discussing the matter, I decided to go to the washroom. I felt pressed. So I went for a short call, and then I realized that I was spotting. My goodness, now I was panicking, like really panicking. So I went, I told him, hey, you know what, I'm spotting. This does not look good. But because I've never been pregnant before, I didn't know just how serious that possibly was. He told me, let's call my brother. His brother is a doctor. So we decided to call him and hear what he thought. So we called him, hey, Chris, this and this and that is happening. What do you think could be the problem? Do you think this could be serious? So he asked me questions. Oh, how have you been feeling? Since when? You know, all those questions that doctors ask. I answered the questions, and he told me, go to hospital as soon as you can. Panic mode. I was so panicky. I could not even eat that evening. I did not eat because I was really panicky, but my husband was just chilled. He's a very chilled guy naturally. So we decided that the following morning we would go to hospital very early in the morning. So we sleep, wake up early in the morning, we prepare ourselves, and by 8 a.m. we were in hospital. And we took this chance to make this our first antenatal clinic. So we went through the process, we paid, we got the mother and child booklet, and went in to see the doctor. So as we were talking to the doctor, I told the doctor that actually the reason why I'm here is mostly because I am spotting. So as I was looking at my doctor's face, he was like, you know, he made this face of, oh. And I even got more panicky because I was like, if a doctor can make that face because of this news, this does not really look good. So I explained to him how I was feeling and all that stuff. And he told me, I need to put you on medication so that we can hold on to the baby. hold on to the what? He said, hold on to the baby. I even got more alarmed. And me, the way I felt, I was like, we are holding on to the baby. Where is my baby going? Is my baby? You know, what's going on? But my husband was right next to me. He was very quiet, but he looked shook as well. So me, I started crying. And at this point I'm crying, and the doctor, I can't hear the doctor anymore because he was not giving me instructions on what to do, how to take the medicines and what I should not do. So at this point he turned to my husband, he was the one who was not crying, and he was the one who was listening. So he was telling my husband, make sure she does not do any heavy work, make sure she is very, very rested, make sure she does not bend to do anything, she does not lift anything heavy, she does not do anything strenuous. Please take care of her, make sure she's not stressed out, make sure her body and mind are very well rested. I was still crying, but I still heard the doctor somehow. So I went, collected my medication and my booklet, and we went out for lunch, after which we went home. Remember, at this time, it's now towards the end of October, and during that period, we were in the process of helping some friends of ours who had a wedding, and they had requested us to be their couple of honor, also known as best maid and best man. So we were discussing with my husband how we were going to go about the whole journey of the wedding preparations, knowing that as the best couple, as the couple of honor, there are some responsibilities that fall in your docket. You actually help the couple with a lot of planning, with ideas and some of the activities. You help them run some of the errands. So he told me, you need to talk to the bride. Let her know your condition, tell her what is going on, and let's see how your side of the duties can be delegated. So I called the bride and told her, chick, I am not okay. This and this is happening. I'm pregnant. I've been told to rest, kabisa. And so there's so much of running up and down that I cannot do. And this bride was extremely understanding. Bless you, my dear. I know you're watching this. And she told me, don't worry. I'll engage the rest of the bridesmaids to help me with whatever I will need help with. And they also got a wedding planner. And so much of the running up and down that I could not do, I didn't even have to do. All right. Towards November now, now in the month of November, we were organizing a bridal shower for the bride. And still, I'm the maid of honor, and I cannot break this news to people yet. It's delicate news, and so I cannot just share with people anyhow. I had to wait and watch how it was panning out before I could start sharing the news. So in the month of November, we have a bridal shower to organize. So I'm the maid of honor, and that means I'm instrumental in the planning. But the bride's best friend and the other bridesmaids and other friends of hers were very instrumental, and I decided that I was not going to take so many of the duties, the heavy duties. I took on the lighter duties, like ordering cake, and just showing up for the bridal shower. And that is all I did. So the bridal shower comes and it goes, and I'm still on medication. Remember, at the hospital, I had been told to go back after 2 weeks for checkup. All right. So at this point, the spotting has graduated to bleeding. It's no longer a little. It's now like a heavy period. But because I was on medication, I was not very worried. I decided to just take it easy and wait for the 2 weeks to go by before I could go back to hospital for a checkup. So at this point now, it's the first week of December, and it's just a few days to the wedding. And then after the wedding, that's when I would go back to hospital for checkup, so that they could check whether the baby had been held onto as the doctor had said. All right, so wedding day comes, and on the morning of the wedding, you as the maid of honor, there are so many things that people depend on you for. But I'm really grateful to one of the ladies, the bride's friend. I had to tell her what was going on with me, because I could not continue just keeping quiet and knowing that I was not supposed to strain myself. So I told her, this is what I'm going through. I'm feeling very sick, and I am supposed to rest as much as possible. So you see all these things that these people need, please help me. And she took on the role. Like she decided to do the running around. Also, the bride's sisters came in handy. They were very helpful. They helped with a lot of things. And you see, I did not strain myself much. All right, so we leave the bride's residence to the church. At the church, it was a very short ceremony. I didn't have to strain a lot. It was just sitting and standing, Catholic Mass. So my day was not very hard. I was still bleeding heavily, but I powered through. And you see, when there's a wedding, during Holy Communion, the bride, the groom, and the couple of honor, they get the chance to take a gulp of the wine. But I could not take the gulp of the wine because I was pregnant. So I just took a very tiny sip, because I had to be a responsible mother. I am pregnant, I could not take alcohol. All right, so I just did a very small sip for the symbolism. So after the church service, we are now at the reception. As you would know, Kenyan weddings, reception equals dancing and eating. But I decided to just take it very slow. So as we were dancing, the way we dance on that train, it was a very sunny afternoon. So as we were dancing, I started feeling dizzy, and I could not dance anymore. So my husband noticed that I was not okay. So he grabbed my hand and we went and sat down. I sat down there, and he went and got me some juice and some water. I drank and rested. I sat down and decided to be a spectator and watch other people dancing and enjoying. And we decided that the only point where I would stand up was at the point of cake cutting. So the reception rituals continued. At the point of cake cutting, I stood up, I went, I did my part as the maid of honor. And after the wedding, after the reception, there was supposed to be an evening party. But judging on how I was feeling, I was still feeling dizzy. At this point, I was feeling really weak. And I decided I would not go to the party. So my husband and I just went home to rest after the wedding. We have come from the wedding, we are resting. And then Sunday morning, we don't wake up very early, we slept in. And then we woke up at around midday, we ordered some takeout lunch. We ate, and towards the end of the afternoon, at around 3-4 p.m., I noticed that the bleeding had subsided. It was now only just a few drops. And I thought, maybe the meds are finally working. Maybe it's because I've rested. I don't have anything to stress about. But I did not think so much about it. I told my husband about it, and he told me, okay, let's see how you're going to be feeling tomorrow. Because now the tomorrow was on Monday, and that was the day where we were supposed to go back to the hospital for checkup. Okay, so Sunday passed. It's Monday morning. We wake up very early and we go to hospital. At the hospital, I tell the doctor that the bleeding has subsided, and I thought I was, and I was actually feeling much better at this point. I was not feeling very sick. So the doctor told me we need to do an ultrasound so that we ascertain for sure that your baby is doing okay. So I went in for the ultrasound, and at the sonographer's, as he was doing the ultrasound, we were there looking at the screen to see whether we were going to see our baby. We were really excited this time. So we are looking, and he's looking, the sonographer is checking and checking again and saying, I don't seem to see anything, but let's try again. So he applies that gel they normally apply on the stomach. He applies on my stomach and starts checking again. But still, nothing can be seen. I started crying because if nothing can be seen, where is my baby? Did I like bleed out the whole human out? I started crying. So the doctor told me, I'm so sorry. The sonographer, he told me, I'm so sorry. Seems like we don't have the baby anymore. My heart sank. And at this point, I'm crying, I'm weeping uncontrollably. My husband is seated there and he's not crying. I'm the one doing all the crying, but he looks really shook. And so the sonographer was there compiling the report. And so he gave us the report. He told us, I'm so sorry, guys. Just go back to the doctor and hear what he's going to tell you. So we go back to the doctor. We give him the ultrasound. There's the scan and the document from the sonographer. And he told me, it seems like for real, you have lost the baby. Now that it had been confirmed that we have lost the baby, now it was time to grieve and find a way to move on. So we go back home, and this time we continued crying. This time both of us cried, my husband and I. And I just cried myself to sleep. So we slept. The following day was Tuesday. We woke up. We realized that we did not even eat supper. And I told my husband that I needed to leave the house. It was time for us to give each other a little bit of space because the both of us have different ways of grieving. I grieve by sharing and crying. He grieves by internalizing and withdrawing. So at this point, being around him was not going to be very helpful to me because I needed to cry all the pain that I was feeling. I needed to just cry and cry and cry and cry some more. So I called my big sister and I told her, Chick, we went to hospital and we have lost a pregnancy and I'm coming to your house tomorrow. She did not ask me questions. She told me, okay, you're welcome. And then I called my baby sister and I told her the same news. I gave her the same news and I told her that I wanted to see her at my big sister's house. Actually, they are neighbors. So the following day came and I went to my big sister's house, and as expected, they did not disappoint. We really cried. They helped me cry. We just talked it out. We talked about it. We discussed, and we just cried the whole matter away. After we were done crying, we bought 1 kg of beef. My big sister cooked for us, and we ate and went to sleep. I was feeling much better anyway. So the following day, I go back home and I find my husband is still beside himself. We were not talking much because I could tell his pain. He was still internalizing his part of the pain. After a few days, we were feeling much better. He went back to work. I went back to my schoolwork. And this time, I decided to immerse myself into my schoolwork. I even decided to take some extra classes. I decided I would be taking driving classes in the morning, and the rest of the day I would do my schoolwork. I was really trying to keep myself busy so that I don't think so much about this whole matter. And on February 14th, on my birthday, I started feeling sick-ish again. And this time I thought I could be pregnant. This time I was almost sure that I was pregnant because I already knew what it feels like to be pregnant. So I went, bought my pregnancy test kit, came and tested, and voila, I was pregnant a second time. Thanks be to God. And in October of 2022, we welcomed our rainbow baby boy. So that is how it all went down, and I know a lot of people who are watching this can relate. Many women have experienced miscarriages, and so I was sharing this story because I have come to a place where I feel I have healed for the most part, and so I can share freely, and I just hope someone relates or gets encouraged that there is hope after loss. So thank you so much for listening to my story today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.